Hi folks, Dave with dbstechtalk. Today we're going to talk about the TFZ Live 1. The TFZ Live 1 was sent over by Linsoul. Do greatly appreciate it. Linsoul did not ask for anything more than just an honest review, and they have not asked for the Live 1 back. Linsoul, you rock. You're awesome. Thank you for sending out the Live 1s. Alright, so the TFZ Live 1s currently are available on drop for $31. They're also available through Amazon, Linsoul, and AliExpress. There'll be links down below for everything. If you want to order them from drop, check out my affiliate link down below, and you'll be able to support DBS Tech Talk a little bit by ordering the TFZ Live 1 through my affiliate link. The other prices range anywhere from about $35 to $45, give or take, on Amazon, Linsoul, and AliExpress. The TFZ Live 1s do come in a very nondescript box. On the back, you'll get some pictures of the different colors that are available. The ones that I have are black. You also will get inside two different types of tips, both silicones. So you'll have the olive shape, bulb shape ones, and then the half bulbs. The half bulbs do have a little bit wider of a bore than the others. I used the stock tips, did not have any problems with them whatsoever. I did use the olive shaped bulb tip. The build quality of the Live 1 is very nice. It's a typical universal shape. You got your clear shell on the back and the little starry faceplate. A little bit blingy, but not too bad. You can see that big, huge 11.4 millimeter graphene driver there on the back, and it has a decent amount of angle for the nozzle and bore. I find that the Live 1 fits my ears very well. It's one of the better shaped budget IEMs. Does not hurt my ears whatsoever, and I'm able to wear them for hours on end. Very, very comfortable. They do an adequate job of isolating outside noises. Nothing special, but they will do for quieter office settings, walking around the neighborhood, sitting at home, that type of thing. If you're going to do louder things, airplanes, trains, planes, that type of thing, you may end up having to crank your music up just a little bit louder. The TFZ Live 1s do have one little bit of a hiccup, and you're going to need something like a IFI ear buddy or an IE match, something along those lines, as they do tend to hiss quite a bit on various gear. I did not have that problem on dongles off of my phone or off of my DAPs, but I did have it with desktop setups and with just random gear, so they do seem to be a little bit sensitive. Speaking of the specs, they are 16 ohms of impedance, 110 decibels of sensitivity, and they have a frequency response of 5 hertz to 40 kilohertz. Sound-wise, they are a very engaging and fun and energetic sound. It is a kind of an interesting sound signature. It's a little bit of like a mild V or a slight W shape, and I do enjoy it. Has more of a sub bass presence than mid bass and upper bass, and then the mids are dipped just a little bit, and then the upper mids and upper or lower treble are accentuated more than the rest of the mix. Bass is deep, energetic, and forward. Sub bass is very present. Mid bass and upper bass, as I said, has just a little bit less presence than the sub bass. Details are a little bit lacking of refinement, but they're there. It's just not the cleanest sounding or most controlled bass. Tone is fun and natural, but is a very engaging sound signature. Again, tone is fun but not natural. It's a very pleasing sound, If you're looking for a true detailed, accurate sound signature in the bass, the TFZ Live 1s are not it. But if you're looking for a fun and engaging, energetic bass, then the TFZ Live 1s definitely should be looked at. The sub bass gives you really nice girth and body to it. It's a very fun and engaging sound. Mid bass and upper bass have a nice warmer tint to them, nice tone and good body, a little bit slightly behind the sub bass region. The mids are a little bit uneven, do lack a little bit of cohesion and a little bit of lacking in details. They're not the most controlled mid, but they do have a nice lushness to them and good body to them, except for the upper mids do have a little bit thinner presence than the mids proper and lower mids. Lower vocals and instruments are thicker and more pleasing sounding. Upper vocals and instruments tend to be a little bit thinner sounding, slightly shouty and aggressive, and have just a little bit of harshness at times. It's almost like they're just being presented a little too far forward and a little too much aggressiveness, and that brings out the harshness in them. They're very pronounced in the upper mids, whereas in the lower mids and in the mids proper region, they're very smooth and very engaging. In the treble, it's a very expressive, very bright and crisp. It's very detailed, but it has a fatiguing nature to it. It's very well extended, has good air up top, and that area of the treble is very smooth and pleasing, but that lower treble region along with the upper mids is just a little too aggressive, a little too prominent. And again, it has that harshness because it feels like it's being pushed forward a little too much, being a little bit too strained. And it's not quite as well controlled. In the soundstage is above average width. I really do enjoy the width of the IEM. The Live 1 does a very good job of putting a stage out in front of you. Also, it does a decent job of depth and layering. You can look into the stage. You can kind of read into the details and get some nice placement. Every now and then it will get a little bit over pronounced in the detail presentations and in the bass, and so vocals and some of the instruments will feel like they're a little too far back in rather than being a little bit more even. But for the most part, it's a very fun and engaging soundstage. Imaging and separation, it's not the smoothest transitions across. It's a little bit three blobbed. It's right, center, left. There are a little bit of gaps in there, but for the most part, it's a pretty smooth transition, but you will notice gaps every now and then. It's not the most accurate when it comes to placement. You'll know things are over on the left or in the middle or in the right hand side, but you won't know exactly it's right there or right there. It's more I'm over here type of thing. Also, you won't know how deep something is. You'll just know it's kind of farther back than some others. But for the most part, instrument separation and placement and stuff like that, it's pretty good for the price point of $40. I really do enjoy it. It's a very pleasant sounding IEM. Plays very well on all gear that I used it on. Dongles, it played extremely well with the X Duo link, with the Razer DAC amp, and also with the ADV access port light. Did not have any problems with it whatsoever. Powering them, they were very easy to drive and had very pleasant tones. They're not very picky with what source you use. Also, the NextDrive Spectre X played very well with it. Did a little bit better on refining the details. For me, it smoothed things over just a little bit, which was a nice touch. As far as using it on DAPs, had no issues with the Pioneer XDP30R or the Sony Walkman NWA105. Both of them played it very well with the Live 1s. And had no problems whatsoever powering them and having a pleasant sound come to my ears. I really enjoyed them, especially with the Sony. They have very good synergy with the Sony. As far as desktops, the Mytek Liberty was the one that really showed off hissing. I had to use the IFI IE match with the Mytek Liberty on the headphone amplifier with that. It sounded very good once I got the hiss out of the way. As far as the 789, played very well. Did have a little bit of hiss. Again, did use the IE match on it, but it played it very easily and very well. I wouldn't really recommend these with with desktop, they're more of a portable use, but they can be used on desktop. They also worked with the Magni 3 Heresy, and also they worked very well with the... I had another one. Now I just spaced it. Anyways, they played with pretty much everything that I had, and with no problems other than the little hissing problem. How do they compare to all their siblings? To the TFZ No.3, the big brother. Yeah, these are like the little brother that tries a little too hard to be like the big brother. They have a lot of similarities, but the No.3 definitely is the more refined, more defined IEM. It is more smooth, better controlled, and the No.3 just overall has the better presentation, especially with tone and timbre. But the Live One is a very pleasing and engaging sound signature, and half the price is very much, if you want kind of a similar sound signature, here you go. The Jade Audio EA1 is a more natural tone and timbre, has better detail, retrieval, and resolution, does not have that harshness to it, does not have as much sub bass as the Live One does. And it's not quite as impactful in the bass, but to me it's more refined and more controlled in the bass, has a little bit better details. And then the soundstage and imaging is more refined. You can place things a little bit better on the EA1. EA3 is a little bit warmer and has a little bit more of the even tones in the mids. And also the EA3 will be a little bit more defined in the soundstage. As far as the Moondrop SSR, the SSR definitely is very neutral, has more natural tone and timbre, it's very accurate, and also very good soundstage and imaging, is a little more precise, and you can place things a little bit better within the soundstage. And then the K-Bear KS2. The K-Bear KS2 is like a subwoofer in your ears. You have more bass impact, but it's more boomy and less defined, and has more recessed mids and a little bit harsher treble. So the TFZ Live One, yeah, I recommend these. These are a fun sound. They have a little bit of flaws to them, but I can overlook it for the price tag. They're definitely very pleasing, and none of the real problem childs that you would think of. When you have like a little bit of the treble being bright and crisp, and the upper mids and lower treble being a little more prominent, they never really truly offended me until after a little while they became fatiguing. But I can go for a while listening to music before it becomes a problem. So I definitely can recommend the Live One. I do enjoy them, and for $40, they're a very good deal. If you want a fun, engaging, and very energetic sound signature, here you go. The TFZ Live Ones. Don't forget to check out the links down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Dave with DBS Tech Talk. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.